Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1431. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcaster Valleymont. Today we hear from the wonderful Bonita, the disgruntled fiddle player, and the brewmaster. And we get to the segment called Matthews News because there's still so much news going on in the world we must get into.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And I went to look at my website and I got a stupid Microsoft Edge thing.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
A display, because I went to open Microsoft Edge and here is a big commercial. It's telling me things that to me are superficial, but it's telling me Microsoft Edge is the fastest. And then Chrome is the next fastest. And then Mozilla Firefox is slowest.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Wow, who knew? 5% slower Chrome is. And I talk like Yoda. Yoda's my
Daily
speech pattern today.
Podcast.
Well, thank you, Microsoft Edge.
Yeah!
You know, I enjoy Microsoft Edge because when you open it, it saves all the tabs you had. But apparently today it decided to say the bad word to me. Blank you, Mike. I'm going to clean out everything. And now there's nothing here for me to see. Nothing to see here. Oh, I have that. No, I don't. I got this instead.
If you're switched on, you're a bit of all right. Yes.
And look who walked in. Hi, Mark. It's Bonita the Rodeo Queen. How you doing?
It's a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
All this tech crap you're talking about doesn't make a heck of sense. You know, you need to just tell it like it is, Mike.
Right. Good advice. Look who else walked in.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. I'm the brewmaster. Oh, boy, that's a root beer.
Thank you. Excellent. Hey, I'm going to play this for no apparent reason.
I'll take the rapists for 200. That's therapist.
There you go. Wasn't that a fun little aside? Hey, why does Microsoft call it Edge? Should it be The Edge? That's the guitarist from U2, was The Edge, and he was being all edgy when he called himself The Edge. I'm sure there's a lot of rock stations across the country called The Edge 99.5.
And here's today's podcast picture.
It is of me and John Deere the engineer, who just walked in just now. Yes, Mike, it's really great to be here today. I can't wait to talk to you today about Instagram. Thank you. Yeah, Lena Masitsi's today in her Instagram story. Oh, Greta Hausman is on today. Hello, Greta, on C-SPAN. You're so pretty. Yeah, Lena, who's very lean, she was on a plane in this one Instagram story. This is like me trying to describe to you the funnies, the comics, the Sunday paper comics over on the radio. But what she's doing is she's looking into the camera, and you see her big, beautiful eyes and her bushy eyebrows. And she's like trying to do this smile. She's so pretty, and she's trying to do the smile. And then she turns the camera around, and she's looking at that little thing when you're sitting in your seat in a plane, and you've got that television set in front of you. And it's like on a freeze screen. It just shows you this one picture of a flight attendant. And she's got this fake smile, the flight attendant. So Lena, you figure out, is trying to do the fake smile. And to me, once again, Instagram stories is so Amélie to me. Amélie, the French movie that came out in 2000, 2001. I forget the exact date. But in it, you see little vignettes that Amélie is getting, these little videos from the fragile man, the man made of glass, the man who could just shatter at any moment. So, it's wonderful. Hey, I just want to say, in the business that I'm in, well, in any business that you're in, and somebody gets hired that says they can do what they can, that they said on the resume, and then they can't do it in real life. Not the job that I do here, but the one I do in Pleasanton. There's someone who said that they could do something, and apparently he can't. And so we're all kind of like, what? So now guess who gets to train him on how to do the said thing? Me.
Say what?
I know, I'm so excited about that. So, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, which I can't open because of the stupid Microsoft Edge freeze screen here. And it's not showing me. Yeah, and usually there's like a separate thing that has all the past tabs. Maybe this is why I should get a Mac. Anyway, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com is a wonderful website that I can't get to right now for various reasons. Oh, here it is. And Amazon has there's a link on it to go to Amazon. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go through MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com first, and that helps us out. There's also a PayPal there, and you can see all the past podcast pictures and all that's right there at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And now the segment called
Matthews News.
And now we return you to our regularly scheduled program with Mike Matthews.
First off, well, the U.S. flies bombers to show force against North Korea. Today we flew some of our most advanced warplanes to South Korea to take part in bombing drills aimed at intimidating North Korea and Pyongyang after they fired a mid-range ballistic missile over Japan earlier this week. 2 U.S. B-1B supersonic bombers and 4 F-35 stealth fighter jets joined 4 South Korean F-15 fighters in live fire exercises at a military field in eastern South Korea that simulated precision strikes against the North's core facilities. The B-1Bs were flown in from Andersen Air Force Base in Guam, while the F-35s came from our base we have in Iwakuni, Japan. The United States often sends its warplanes to South Korea when animosity rises on the Korean Peninsula, which is technically in a state of war because of the 1950-53 Korean War ended with an armistice, not a peace treaty. Then on Tuesday, North Korea flew a potentially nuclear-capable Hwasong-12 intermediate-range missile over northern Japan, later calling it a meaningful prelude to containing the U.S. territory of Guam. The North Korean leader Kim Jong-un called for his military to conduct more ballistic missile launches targeting the Pacific Ocean to advance the capabilities of its strategic force. Then, explosions were heard at a flood-hit Arkema chemical plant in Texas. 2 explosions were reported today at the flood-hit Arkema SA plant in Crosby, Texas, and a sheriff's deputy was taken to a hospital after inhaling chemicals. The company said further explosions of organic peroxides stored on site were possible and urged people to stay away as the fire burns itself out. Arkema said the company had no way to prevent fires because the plant is swamped by about 6 feet of water due to flooding from Harvey, which came ashore last week in a powerful Category 4 hurricane knocking out power to the cooling systems. The company said it was notified at about 2 a.m. by the Harris County Emergency Operations Center of 2 explosions and black smoke coming from the plant in Crosby. It's all going on in Harris County, all of this disaster in Houston. Organic peroxides are extremely flammable, and as agreed with public officials, the best course of action is to let the fire burn itself out, said the company. On Twitter, the Harris County Sheriff's Office said the deputy had been taken to the hospital and 9 others drove themselves to the hospital as a precaution. Texas is reeling, of course, from Hurricane Harvey. Thousands of residents displaced by floodwaters, a climbing death toll, the amount of houses damaged in the tens of thousands, if not more. But the dangers go beyond the rising waters as the storm brings an array of public health dangers, from mosquitoes to mold. Facing the authorities in Houston are contaminated water as a public health, huge swaths of Houston are submerged in water. As much as 30% of Harris County, 30%, which includes the city and surrounding towns. In addition to the floods, which will take time to recede, the water also poses problems from contamination. And I heard on the podcast To The Point that they were talking to someone there in Texas, and they said, oh, we are actually seeing some blue skies. So at least some sense of this might be beginning, the bad storm at least has come to an end. Experts say all sorts of chemicals are likely to be in the water, and that can lead to rashes, burns, or a range of other symptoms. All the stagnant water will provide new pools of mosquitoes to breed, bringing them diseases. Houston was already the mosquito capital of the U.S. Did you know that? Now the number of mosquitoes is only expected to grow. Flooding may wash away some of the breeding pools, but once the waters recede, mosquitoes will recover. And they carry disease like Zika, West Nile virus, dengue. In addition to a range of new health dangers, the storm makes it harder for people to treat health conditions they already have. Many thousands of people who had to leave their homes behind could be without access to the prescription drugs they need due to them being left behind at the house that they can't get to, or they can't get to it because they can't get into the hospital. Mold is the longer-term issue that evacuees may not realize is a problem until after the floodwaters recede. CDC investigators found mold in the walls in half of 112 water-damaged homes 2 months after Katrina hit New Orleans. The amount of water they have had, you can't avoid the mold. It will happen in homes that will be underwater for a longer period of time. Residents who return to previously flooded homes need to gut the interiors and rebuild rather than wasting time and money to test for mold that's almost inevitable. And mold can trigger allergic reactions and asthma attacks. In some cases, it can cause death. And finally, there's a spread of infectious diseases, thousands of people crowding into shelters after their homes evacuated. Due to close contact, the risk for disease is going to spike. Infectious diseases. The Federal Emergency Management Agency says there are over 30,000 people in 230 shelters across Texas, providing plenty of opportunities for disease to spread from person to person. The solution is, and I always like to bring in solutions, is good hygiene and hand washing. Beyond the physical ailments, there are, of course, mental problems that people will have. Those are going to last longer. 12 years after Katrina, people still have long-term depression and mental health concerns. In Florida, where I'm going to be in a couple of weeks, a city has decided to strip the names of Robert E. Lee and 2 other Confederate generals from the suburban streets. The latest in a recent spate of skirmishes over whether there's those who led the Southern Army should still be honored 152 years after the Civil War ended. In Hollywood, Florida. I don't think I'm going to be anywhere near there. That's, Fort Lauderdale? More than 200 supporters and opponents of the change packed the commission chamber and the adjoining lobby there, with most of the approximately 100 speakers generally spirited but polite. So that is happening in Florida whilst I am there. Taylor Swift has a new video. I'm not going to play the song because then I'll get dinged on YouTube. But it is very weird. And in it, she tears apart and kicks in the butt and casts away all of her old images and says she's got this new image now. Hey, say hello to the new image. It's the same as the old image, basically. But you Swifties may disagree. Joseph Kahn, who directed a number of music videos for Swift, including the lyric video. Yes, lyric videos. Have you seen lyric videos yet? They're big. It's basically back, I don't know how many years ago, they started making lyric videos. Fans would. And they would just basically type the lyrics, and it looked very plain, and you would just see the words, orange background and yellow big words in block font, just flaunted font, just sitting there. and really just, fading in and out as each of the stanzas were sang. But now, the words fly at your face. They dissolve. They animate like crazy. And Khan, who did Taylor Swift music videos, he's doing the lyric video to the Look What You Made Me Do song. He did not, however, do the Look What You Made Me Do video, which is very expensive. It looks like it took a lot of money because a lot of effects happen in this video. And a lot of stuff gets blown up and punched and smashed. And anyway, he claimed the singer is being the victim of double standards. And he sees it as Swift's penchant for planning out her career moves in advance have earned her a reputation as a manipulator, and that's just wrong, says Khan. It's wrong. If I plan something as a man, I'm a genius. If Taylor, as a woman, plans something, she's manipulative, he tweeted. Double standards, this is wrong, he tweeted. Later, presumably as backup for his theory, he retweeted a tweet. Look at that as a birdie sing. Tweet. Hey, a big thank you to Haley, by the way, for correcting me yesterday about something, and I forget what it was. I think it had to do with fries, and that's not actually modeled after Tesla. It's modeled after the Chicago World Fair. Thank you, Haley. That was very informative, and I learned, and my knowledge advanced. Haley, our only listener. Oh, wait, Sylvia, too. Thank you guys for listening. Later, presumably as backup for his theory, Khan, who's never wrong, retweeted a tweet linking to a Guardian article declaring Taylor Swift isn't the first snake woman. Oh, yeah, there's snakes in this video. Crawling up along her sumptuous long legs. She's fighting misogyny's favorite myth. Like you said, Khan said in a retweet, Swift sent her fan base into a tizzy earlier this month when her social media account and website went blank. Well, we know why now. She was releasing new music. After issuing a pair of cryptic snake-themed videos, Swift gave her followers what they were looking for last week. The sixth studio album will be called Reputation. Comes out November 10th. Nah, I'm not a fan of the song, but whatever, you might love it. Hackers, and finally, as we wrap up Cafe Anyway and leave it, last place on earth, Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcaster Valleyton. Hackers have exploited an Instagram bug to get celebrity phone numbers and email addresses. There's an Instagram bug. Oh, wow. And so many folks use the Instagram. So many celebrities. And hackers have accessed contact phone numbers and email addresses for high-profile users, said Instagram. The bug was discovered recently in Instagram's application programming interface, or API, which the service uses to communicate with other apps. Instagram declined to specify which users had been targeted, but the news comes 2 days after hackers accessed the account of its most followed users, Selena Gomez, and posted nude pictures of her boyfriend Justin Bieber. We recently discovered that one of or more individuals obtained unlawful access to a number of high-profile Instagram users' contact information, specifically email and phone numbers, by exploiting a bug in the API, said the company. No account passwords were exposed. We fixed the bug swiftly and are running a thorough investigation. The company has notified all of its verified account holders of the possible leak of their contact information. It encourages users to be cautious if they receive unrecognized phone calls, texts, or emails. In at least one case, a user was able to exploit the bug on some accounts, though Instagram would not cite specific accounts or... Man, I'm going to just delete my Instagram. This is crazy. Yeah, well, always be suspicious of any weird text, email, or phone call that you get. Don't answer. Block. Hey, let's go out. Oh, we are outside. Next show, it's going to be Madame Rutabaga, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Have a wonderful day. And don't use Instagram. There we go. I think that solves all our problems.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!